this is why we cannot sell the fishes to the Syrians without water, saying that, okay, we called now for the military intervention, but there is no military intervention in the horizon. This is another obligation for the SNC to be responsible, to play with the regional and international powers. Because it's clear that the public opinion in the United States, which is critical one, is not ready for other military intervention for no-fly zone in Syria. One more question, also the regional powers, Israel, Lebanon, and Iraq, they have concern about that also. This is why we cannot actually sell promises and wishes for the Syrian people to say, okay, this is the position of the SNC, ask for military intervention, and that's it. When you say something, you have to commit it yourself and to work on that. Myself, I see that it's important to have the safe zone along with the Turkish border, and I'm working on that. We met with the Turkish Minister of Foreign Affairs. I'm heading also to Istanbul to have other meeting with the Turkish Ministry of Foreign Affairs for that. But the Turks, they cannot have that without having Security Council resolution. And we back to the same problem with Russia and China. And if we need to bring Russia and China to agree on resolution at the Security Council to protect the civilians, we have to work with the Arabs. This is why it's not the position of the SNC is not asking for military intervention or not asking for no-fly zone. No, it's that the international community is not prepared to take some actions on this regard. Yesterday I have a meeting with some of the high officials, and we've been saying about the army who've been defected. There is responsibility of the SNC, responsibility of the opposition to find a way for them to organize themselves, to protect themselves. And he said to me, he was very calm, said, they have to make some sacrifices until the international community is ready to have other intervention. This is why we are really in very difficult position. We've been pushed by the protesters on the ground to ask for no-fly zone and military intervention. With the same time, we've been faced by actually reluctant by the international community to do the necessary actions. This is why the difficulties of the SNC on that. Then the other issue actually, which I do believe that before actually calling for the military intervention, we have to use all the tactics of the non-violence resistance. Some of the tactics is not being used yet in Syria. One of them, of course, the general obedience or the strike, the general strike. Today, the SNC called for the general strike. And actually being 100% in different cities and less percent in 50 or 60% percentage in different cities. This is why we have to build consensus among the Syrian society, then among actually the SNC group, explain for the options of the international community, because the international community is not ready yet for any other military intervention. And we will say no-fly zone, it's kind of military intervention, because you have to destroy the muscles. And if Libya, if they've done that in Libya in 6 months, Syria has one of the largest army in the world, number 16, more than 420,000 soldiers and officers. Is not a picnic, and is not an easy target for the NATO or for other groups to do that. This is why we have to work. But it's not an easy, and I understand all the critiques of Ammar said, because I've been receiving every day 200 to 300 messages through the Facebook, through the emails, by criticizing the SNC is not taking positions on that. But as I said before, that the international community is not ready to do that, because they're repeating that there is no Arab consensus, and in Libya the Arab League is acted after 11 days. They delayed the session of the Security Council. It has been in Saturday. They delayed the session to be on Monday because the session they know that the session of the Arab League, they will ask the Security Council for the no-fly zone and for protecting the civilians. But we have in the same case. And I'm saying that with actually, despite of the people who have been killed in Syria, is double of the people who have been killed in Libya. It's in Syria, we do believe more than 4,000 have been killed. 30,000 have been detained. In Libya at that time, it's less than 1,000 have been killed. But it's unfortunately, this is the regional and the international powers, and you cannot control it. And this is why we need to move on. And I think it's the United States. If the United States take position, much more tougher position toward what's going on Syria, regarding supporting the SNC in their asking to have resolution at the Security Council to convince the Russian and Chinese, will be much more easier to go to the other step, because we don't forget that the general strike does affect on the Assad regime. Then the Assad regime is in very the economy has key factor. The Assad regime is running out of money, and this is all of the issues. It has to work on it before actually calling for military intervention, because if we're talking about right now about 4 or 5,000 have been killed, we'll start talking about 10, 20, as in Libya 40,000. This is why we have to be responsible, and at the same time we have to work with consensus. Thank you.
I have to once again respond to a couple of points here, because first of all we have to bear in mind that the people in Tripoli danced for the sake of Gaddafi until the rebels basically stormed the city. So I don't care if the people in Aleppo right now will have concern, or Damascus, because definitely they will have concerns if we ask for a no-fly zone. But the reality is how genuine these concerns are and how widespread and how much reflective of the inner desires of the people, it's pretty difficult to tell at this stage. When you're asking for a no-fly zone or for safe havens and whatever, you're talking about the international community not being ready. I know it's not being ready. We all know that. But the problem is you are forgetting about your other audience, the Syrian people, the protesters who are given legitimacy to all of these opposition groups to speak in their name. When they don't hear their demands being adopted, what sort of message are we sending them? No one has tried to explain to them in a clear-cut manner the implications of asking for a no-fly zone now, and why the world is not ready and we have to wait. And what does that mean? Does that mean if you go ahead and say the world is not ready anyway, so does that mean you endorse it when the world is ready? Do you have a strategy to prepare the world to be ready? You have an audience in the country. That audience need to feel that the leadership in the opposition is willing to speak to it, explain certain things to it, interact with it. So far that interaction is absent. There is no discourse between opposition and the protesters in the street, and that discourse has to take place in the media, not on Skype between activists. It has to take place. There has to be a media message. There has to be some consistency. We have to have the key figures in the SNC and other opposition groups going on TV stations and explaining the realities of the international politics at this stage, explaining what we can push for, what we cannot push for, and all of this has to really happen. We have 2 opposition satellite channels, Barada and Orient TV. You can use them. If you cannot use Al Jazeera and Arabiya, use what you have. But so far no one is trying to explain this, and this is arrogant, frankly. It's coming off as the protesters being sort of left to fend for themselves. We care about the opinions of the international community, but we forget about the opinions of the protesters on the street. They need to hear. That's what I talk about when I say there is a moral gap of leadership in the opposition, because it seems to me that the protesters are being taken for granted. The people who are dying every day, no one bothers to explain anything to them. They are asked to raise signs, to praise this group, to praise that person, ask for no-fly zone, and no one actually explains to them any of the implications of this, or try to communicate with them. Of course the protesters on the streets realize, and they've seen Libya, they've been following the situation in Libya and Iraq, they realize military intervention means a lot of casualties. They you know, but at least they see hope at the end, especially now with the Gaddafi being